About 5 years ago, Dana Wilson-Lee, who was the board chair at the time, had a spark, and she turned it into a bit of a flame. And that was when she challenged this congregation and our board at this congregation to become an affirming congregation, to be recognized by an affirming by Affirm United. A small committee came together, and with the participation and the support of the congregation, did the necessary work to be recognized by Affirm United. And that work was about raising consciousness and awareness on issues surrounding sexual orientation and gender identity. It was about the work to end discrimination of those in our LGBTQ community. And it was about providing support and a sense of community to those in need. For some organizations, that's a twofold process. The first piece of it is undoing things that aren't working well, undoing systemic barriers. Fortunately, at West Hill, we were very much well along that path about being a non-exclusive congregation. And if you take a look at our vision works, which was written just around that time, it says very clearly, we embrace a vision of peace through social justice for all people of all races, ethnicities, abilities, socioeconomic situations, and sexual identities and orientation. We used Vision Works as our guide to be able to meet all of the requirements for Affirm United. And we formally received our designation on the first Sunday of December in 2009. And as you all know, we will look for every opportunity we can to celebrate. And so on the first Sunday of December, we come together to reaffirm our commitment and to continue to raise our awareness to finding ways to end discrimination and provide support. In the past, we've listened to politicians, to supporters, to authors, and this morning I'm pleased to welcome someone who fits the description of advocate, and perhaps even super advocate. First and foremost, Irene Miller is a proud Toronto PFLAG mom. Irene has never wanted, these are her words, Irene has never wanted to change her gay son, but is doing what she can to change the society in which we live by empowering allies and combating homophobia. Irene joined PFLAG as a volunteer when she became increasingly aware that for many LGBTQ individuals, family support was withdrawn when they came out. President of Toronto PFLAG since 2010, Irene is proud of both her straight and gay children. So please join me in welcoming Irene, who will talk to us about changing lives, one conversation at a time.
Moved I am by what I see in this building today. My heart sings when it sees the colors. It really speaks to a longing deep inside me to see this everywhere. So just to start off, thank you for letting me stand amidst the rainbow here today. And I am Irene, Toronto PFLAG mom. This is our symbol, and we took on this rainbow heart around Toronto because we felt that's who we are and what we are and part of what we do. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit moved. I'm happy to be here today, really happy to be here, a celebration of affirmation. I think you're one of 12 churches in Toronto that are affirming congregations, and we look to you, we rely on you for being there when so many others are not. And I'll tell you a little bit about who I am and why I do what I do. On the next slide, Toronto PFLAG is a charity, And I have to tell you, we're all volunteers. We have no paid staff. So if you ever go on our website, and I hope you do, and you see all the things we do and all the places we go, understand that everything we do is done by a mom, a dad, a brother, a sister, a son, or a daughter of someone who's LGBTQI2S. Yeah. We all love and care for deeply someone in the LGBT community. And we do what we do because we feel it needs to be done. Somebody's got to do it, and we do it proudly. And this hangs in my home. Remember, as far as anyone knows, we're a nice, normal family. And you know, I bought it for so many reasons. It just struck me as funny, but it also struck me very deeply that we are all nice, normal families. But it's sometimes not the way other people might see us. And we are a nice, normal family. We brought our kids up in North Toronto, and we'll show you the picture. These are our kids, 2 kids, a boy and a girl and a boy, a millionaire's family. And like most straight parents, when we had our kids, we figured straight parents, straight kids. That's just the way it was. And we participated in their lives, and we watched them grow. And we had 2 great kids. Our son's an actor. Should have won an Oscar. He's been on TV, he's been on stage. He's had many roles. But the one that should have won the prize was the one he had from about age 6 to 17. That was when he played the part of a straight kid. That was when he played the part of a happy child. And our son Raymond wasn't straight, and he wasn't happy. And we didn't know. We just didn't know. He hid it from us so well. He left the house every morning with a smile on his face. He was a great student at school. He did all the extracurricular activities. He didn't ever let us see what he was hiding. 90% of his life hidden from us. Oh, we did all kinds of family things together, but he was the consummate actor. And we've come to know at PFLAG that so many people living amongst us every single day also deserve Emmys, Tonys, Oscars, because they hide part of who they are. And some people will say it's just a small part of who they are, and other people will say it's everything I am. And I hid it. And we hide it. They hide it from even the people they are the closest to, sometimes because they love us so much. They love us so much, and they do not want to disappoint us. Nor do they want everyone else to judge us, to look at our families differently. What did she do? What did that mother do to create that different child? What was the father's place in that situation? That's the way society used to look at it. What did we do wrong? Well, I know we did nothing wrong. I know that Raymond was a gift to us, as is his sister Crystal. I know that. But somehow he didn't know that. Somehow in his childhood, as kids do, if you're straight, you never have to think about it. If you're straight, you're privileged. You never have to question who you are. Oh, we question other things about ourselves, but we never question who we are in our core. But if you're lesbian or gay or bi or trans, you start feeling you're a little bit different. And the kids round about you by grade 1 and 2, they start seeing that you're a little bit different too. And those kids alone have to figure out, what is it about me that is different? And who am I like? I look like my dad, but I'm not really like my dad. I enjoy things like my mom, but I'm not really like my mom. Who am I like? And for so many growing up, where were the role models? Where were the people they could identify with? Where were the people they could look at and say, that's who I'm like, that's who I'm going to be like? They're figuring it out on their own. And at the same time as they're figuring it out, the other kids are calling them names. And our kid was called fag. Not a word we used in our home. Probably the first few times he heard it, he didn't know what it was. Called queer. Throw a ball like a sissy, runs like a girl. All those things to bring him down. All those things to eat away at him. Make him question himself. And our son is gay. He's a proud gay man. But he was a child, figuring out where he could fit in. But it's not because our son is gay that we went to PFLAG. If we can go back one screen, I want to show you why we came to PFLAG. This is our extended family. My husband and I, our straight son-in-law, Dave, married to our daughter, Crystal, and our son, Raymond, beside me at the end. And the other guy in the black shirt is one of his friends that we were introduced to when Raymond came out. For us, it was a non-issue. He told us one night at dinner he met someone special. He wanted us to meet him. And I said, what's he like? And his dad said, what does he do? You know, it was just so typical. And that's how our son came out. And I just told everybody, not so much he's gay, but Raymond has a boyfriend. They're going to be at our house on Friday, so why don't you drop by? And the front door was like a revolving door. Oh, people were parading through the house on Friday, dropping stuff off, picking things up. Is there a cup of tea? Everybody seemed happy for Raymond and his boyfriend. And he was in his last year of high school at the time. He was also appearing 8 shows a week in Mamma Mia. An exceptional kid. But Raymond will tell us that regardless of the fact that it was in fact a non-issue for us, it took him a long time to tell us. We were not the first people he told. Like many other people, he confided in a friend first. He didn't tell us first. Do you know how much that hurts? That he told somebody else first. Because he really wasn't sure what the reaction would be. And we hear this all the time from people when they tell a coming out story. One of the things that is always there is the fear that the people they need to accept it the most just might not. But we did accept it, and things were good. But we started meeting a lot of his friends, and we realized that for a lot of kids it wasn't that way. And Jared, the guy in the black shirt, between Crystal and I, was one of those friends. Jared came from the Midwest. He had been modeling in Asia, modeling in Italy, a lovely young man. Went home on a vacation to Saskatchewan, and his mother went through his things, found something, it may have been from Woody's, I'm not sure, and said, "Are you gay?" He said, "Yes, I am." She said, "Get on a plane back to Toronto. Do not tell your father, it will kill him. You're no son of mine." And by the time the plane landed in Toronto, the nasty emails had started. And our son came and he said, "Remember Jared, the guy who was at the barbecue, blah, blah?" We said, "Yeah." He said, "Could he come and stay for a couple of weeks? Because he's in kind of a bad place right now." And we said, "Sure." Everybody's got the pull-out couch, just in case. So we said, sure, he can come and stay for a couple of weeks. And Jared did. Well, he came. Within weeks of him coming, our daughter went to the UK, met Dave, fell in love, got married, still lives in the UK. Around the same time, our son, the actor, got accepted into the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York City. Off he went to the States for 4 years. We almost empty nested. But Jared came for a couple of weeks, stayed almost 5 years. Life has a way of providing you with opportunities. Jared came, and I went to PFLAG. I phoned the helpline and said, what can I do to help someone who's struggling to find a way to connect with parents? And I went to the meeting, and I took the book list, and I got the books, and Jared and I read the books. We also did fun things. We watched Queer as Folk on a Monday night, and we chatted about all the characters. And Jared would say to me, I didn't realize in my wildest dreams that you could sit with a mum and a dad and have these conversations. And we realized that we'd been doing this with our straight kid and our gay kid equally. But we realized a lot of other things as well. We were a family who read books always. Not one book in our home would have had a gay storyline, a lesbian character, far less anyone bi or trans. And we set out to rectify that. And at Toronto PFLAG, we do that too. We have a little lending library. We have a lending library, not just of factual books about now you know, but we have some novels as well. And we say to our families, go home and read the books. Read a book that your kids would be comfortable reading, and then discuss it with them. They've spent 20 years or 30 years of their lives reading all the straight stuff with us. Let's get into their space. Let's get into their comfort zone. And a lot of mainstream authors now are actually putting these storylines in. It may not be the whole plot, but there may be a sibling or a family member who's LGBT that adds that other dimension, that lets us see someone in the story that someone in our family can connect with. It's a huge step forward, and it's an important one. So we came to PFLAG because of Jared. And we realized that coming out is not easy, but living a lie is also not easy. Fitting in is not easy when other people perceive the differences. And it is so hard to remember who knows and who doesn't, and how much we can share. And it's not just coming out for the person who is lesbian, gay, bi, or trans. Often that person comes out, the family goes in the closet. There's often a period of time where the family perhaps stop talking about that one child, or they only talk about how well they're doing at work. You know, we hear this all the time. We have parents coming to PFLAG who say, I'm okay with it, I accept it. I just don't want the neighbors to know. Or I'm not comfortable letting my workmates know. It might change things. And we say it will change things. It should change them for the better. Because when our kid came out, we came out too. Because they shouldn't have to face this alone. And we realized always we loved Raymond, the same as we loved Crystal, and the same as we came to love Jared. We loved our kids for who they are, the whole package. And we decided we would be there with them, behind them, beside them, or in front of them, whatever was needed. And this is a PFLAG thing. This is what we do. And a lot of you may be PFLAGs without even realizing you qualify. Because it's something we do as those of us who just love someone who's LGBTQ. We just reflect our families. We show who we are. We personalize queer families. We realized that we were the queer family. The nice, normal family? Absolutely. but we're also part of the LGBT community. Our family got so much bigger, and I wouldn't change my life for anything. Wouldn't change my life for anything. Where I am today, through our son, through his friends, absolutely where I want to be. Coming out is not easy, and it's up to society to make it easier, because we still presume that everyone is straight. We do. Now, we have laws in Canada. We have excellent laws in Canada, and Ontario, tremendous. TDSB has a super trans policy. We know these things are in place, but we have to make sure every single citizen lives it every single day. I'm not sure what's coming up next. Why is it important for family members to come out? Because we are society, and we can change the opinions of the people round about us by showing them who we are, by being open, by being proud, from not hiding who we are, from having pictures of all of our kids in the workplace, for talking about them all with love and pride, never shying away from it, being open. People ask us if we have children. I say right up front, we do. We have two. We have a straight daughter. We have a gay son. Everybody knows. Well, if they haven't already seen the rainbows on us, it kind of is a giveaway. But it's so important for ally organizations to come out, to advocate, to show that you're open. And an affirming congregation, you have done the extra work. I thank you for that. So often when people phone PFLAG, they're calling a helpline, they're calling a stranger to say, my daughter told me last night she's a lesbian, or I just found out my dad is gay. They're calling a stranger. Where are their close friends, their family members, the people in their faith communities? Where are their next door neighbors? Why do they still not trust that they will get support and understanding from the people they sit beside, walk beside, live beside every single day? Why do they call a stranger? Now, the good news is we answer the phone. A PFLAG mum picks up the phone or calls them back and says, hi, I'm the mum of a gay son. You can talk with me. But why today in 2013 can they not trust that they can speak to a neighbor or a friend? An affirming church is a huge step forward, because you've done the work. You've put out the signs. You're showing this community, here's a place where you can come and tell us how you're feeling, what's on your mind. And we're ready for it. We can take it. So many churches are not. Our church, Fairlawn Avenue United, is not. Oh, they've talked about it. Since 2009, we've been talking about it. And it makes me sad that there are still people in the church saying, why is it important to you? Why is it important to me? I could barely speak at the beginning because I'm standing under a rainbow. Some people still don't get it. They still don't get it. And it's not just that it would mean something to someone who's lesbian, gay, bi, or trans, but it really means something to those of us who are the family members, to honor every single one in our family. So I really thank you all for having done the homework, for putting out the sign, for becoming affirmation. This part of you makes such a difference, I am sure, in this congregation. And when people call us and say, my church is closed-minded, we refer them to the Affirming Congregations, or MCC. And I'll tell you, people at Fairlawn were annoyed when I stood up one morning and said, you know, one day I hope I can tell them to come to Fairlawn, but right now I can't. And they were indignant. And yet, didn't become affirming. They're working on it. They will get there. But you've done it. You're already there. And in this community, it will mean something. It really will mean something. And what's coming up? Role models. We all look for role models. Whether it's someone like George Stroumboulopoulos, who keeps telling us send more bracelets and he wears them on his TV show, or whether it's our premier, Kathleen Wynne, lesbian woman, mum of a gay son, highest politician in the province, friend, mentor. And our friends Rosie O'Donnell and Sharon Gless, Toronto PFLAG gave Sharon Gless an award because of the work she does in the US in advocating for gay rights. She's a straight woman, but she played a PFLAG mom on Queer as Folk. And for a lot of us, it sort of gave us the idea that, you know what, we actually have a voice that we can use. And whether it's the people that march with us in Pride, or it's the politicians like Sherry DeNovo, Christine Elliott, Yasser Naqvi, who crossed party lines to ensure that Toby's Act passed last year. The first one in Canada, for Ontario, the first province to include gender expression as well as gender identity. And two of my heroes at the end of that picture, Enza Anderson, who one time ran for mayor of Toronto. And Enza, I would be happy if you were mayor today. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Enza, a good friend who comes out and volunteers at our meetings, actually, when we have families coming with kids transitioning. And beside her is TK, also trans female to male, PFLAG volunteer. We rely on the people who can personalize who our families are, what it means to us. So role models, am I getting a signal for time? I'll move on quickly and wrap up. Sometimes we think we've done enough. We think we're supportive parents. You think you're an affirming congregation. How much more can we do? Christmas 2011, our son got the Christmas card from his sister in Wales, and he was silent when he opened it. Usually he laughs. It's usually funny. But he was crying, and the Christmas card said, "To a special brother and his boyfriend." And he said that at age 29, it was the first gift card he ever received that spoke to who he is in his core. And his dad and I were gobsmacked. We'd never realized the importance that a card like that might have made. And his sister did. And it struck me that no matter how much we're doing, we always can do more. We always can do more to make someone else feel more comfortable. And homophobia is out there. It's out there all the time. A couple of weeks ago on Facebook, our son and daughter-in-law in Wales bought a new car. And they got an automatic, which we were ecstatic about because our daughter doesn't drive a standard. And they live in a little village in Wales where there are more sheep on the road than people. And he put it out there, and one of his friends said, "Nice motor, Dave. Automatic, a bit gay. But today's turbo diesel makes up for it." So I had to right away message. I didn't put it right on Facebook. I messaged Richard. "Hello, Richard. This is Irene, Crystal's mom. You know Crystal's brother is gay, and I really don't like the comment." And he said, "Oh, I didn't really mean anything. I just meant it was a bit wimpy." And I said, "I know that's what you meant. That's why I'm messaging you." And we had a nice little conversation, and he removed the message. The thing is, even nice people make these mistakes. But we should know better today, and we can't let it slip by, ever. Just quickly, Simon. People are still coming out. Simon came out in grade 6. His mum called the stranger, me, on the phone and said, "My son has been outed at school. He's in grade 6. What do we do?" And we had the conversation. They came to the meetings and they've become a PFLAG family. Simon is now in grade 9. Brian Burke, PFLAG dad, was looking for a speaker at a fundraising event for Canada Safe Schools Network, and he said, "Who can you bring me that will really hit a message home to these sports fans?" And I said, "Simon, grade 9 student." And Simon's speech is on our website, and I hope you go to it. I never speak from notes, but I am going to say this is how Simon's speech began. "Hello, my name is Simon, also known as faggot, queer, homo, and disgrace. These are the names, labels, and remarks I got from being bullied at school." Go on our website and read Simon's speech. Simon had the courage, well, he was outed in grade 6, but he had the courage to come through it with his parents. But we still get calls from people in their 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s who are looking to find the courage to come out. And with our help, it'll happen. But we, as a community, can change society one conversation at a time. Never shy away from the conversation. United Church Creed. I didn't really like it when we went modern. I liked the old words, but the one phrase that stays with me all the time, we are not alone. And I read your mission, your vision on your website, and those words again jumped at me. We are not alone. And I know that that's what our son was looking for as a child. That's what makes him happy today as a queer man, is knowing he is not alone. And as parents, we are not alone. And we come together at times like this. Yep, I'm getting it. We need to belong. Thank you for making us all feel welcome in this building, which is more than the bricks and the mortar. It's more than the rainbow above us. But believe me, that goes a long way. I really appreciate being given the opportunity to share with you a bit today, and I'll be happy to speak with anyone afterwards. We are not alone, thanks be to God.